keeping with what the veterans have asked of me in the program, they've asked that we publicize this because they feel that it's important for everybody to understand what's happening and to get the message out. It actually was not anything that I expected to do, but I had a few cases where veterans or active military people who were home on leave were getting into trouble in Redford. And so they were showing up on my caseload, and they might show up in the lockup. And so as a result of seeing those few cases, and one of them was very troubling, and I cite it a lot when I talk about why we started to do this, it just became clear to me that with the flashbacks and the PTSD and the alcohol issues and the other substance abuse issues that they were encountering, something had to be done.
Over several years I ran into veterans through the court. One that created kind of this feeling that we weren't doing anything. There was East Lansing has riots from time to time, and there was a very dramatic thing. The police, before they shoot off tear gas and really close down a riot, they'll shoot off flashbangs, and they video so that they keep a record of what's going on. And the flashbangs went off and everybody ran away except one guy, and this guy dove down into the street, and there was broken glass and spilled booze and people had thrown up and everything else. He dove right down into it and looked like a soldier, a rifleman that you see in a war movie. And one of the police recognized that for what it was, and said, you got to get out of here. And I said, where's the sergeant? He said, we'll get you to the green zone. The sergeant's in the green zone. And this guy had a total flashback from Iraq. But he got into a hassle with the police, and there was some fighting, so they charged him with some disorderly conduct. When he came in, he had been in an incident, an IED exploded and cost him one eye. And he had extreme 100% disability with PTSD. And we dealt with his case, but we really didn't do a thing to help him or assist him or do anything for him.
You can look at something like that and you can see what's happening on the national news and the local news with the veterans that are returning, and you think you can make a difference, then you do it, because it's your obligation to do it as an American and as a judge and as a public official.
And there are other veterans. There's some of these guys around town that they live by collecting cans. They'll come in and they'll get in trouble taking something wrong. And one time a lawyer said, he's a Vietnam veteran, and in a way he never really came back.
We have some outstanding people that back us up in this program. They give us the support we need. We have, in the military, you have a military structure, command structure. They take care of a lot of the paperwork. We just do the grunt stuff. That's all they ask us to do here. Take care of us, and what they ask, what we're supposed to do. They'll take care of political red tape. That's the biggest success about this program.
Look at you, Evan.
Yes, I am. You can ask them. When I walked in here,
He was rough.
and to now, I was 0% disability, wouldn't go to the Veterans Hospital, wouldn't go get the help I needed. I needed help. I didn't care. When the cops showed up at the house that night, I got arrested because I went off on them. They had to call back up, they had to do all that stuff. And they finally, this helps people like me and a lot of these guys here who know they need help.
When he showed up, this was not a guy I would have sat next to on a bus, let alone want to just talk with. I always knew there was something wrong, and I always knew that, man, I don't feel right. I'm mad at the world, depressed, but once I got to the Veterans Hospital and started going to the classes they wanted, that Judge Khalil and her team advised me to go to, I finally got to talk to somebody about what was bothering me for all these years.
There was a judge in Buffalo. This judge had done drug treatment courts for a long time, but the veterans weren't doing well, so he came up with the idea to start a veterans court. He took the veterans out of his other courts and put them together and paired them with another veteran to be their mentor, and that's where the idea came from.
We don't order any veterans into the program. We try to invite them to a session to let them see what it's like. We leave the decision about whether or not they're going to enter into the program up to them.
It's a lot harder to do 18 months of reporting probation and counseling and a lot of other requirements than just go somewhere to jail for a few months or so on. and then you're done. And guess what? You're no better off. You're probably a little more upset about the society that sent you to war and not doing anything for you. And the idea here is that veterans get engaged and they're held accountable for their offenses, but they're also treated, and you break the cycle of them being in trouble.
You got to be clean on a drug screen by this date or that date. You've got to get into the chemical dependency class at the VA. You've got to do all these other things. When they reach a goal, it's not like any other court session that you see, because everybody cheers for them and everybody applauds them, and they get that sense of community. And once they're back in that community, they work with each other, they look out for each other, and it just works.
Every veteran, when they sign up, they really make out a blank check to the United States of America for anything up to and including giving their life. How can we not give back to them? How can we not do it?
It will give you so much appreciation for your country and for the service that the military does for our country. But it's a lot of extra work. It requires a commitment that you can't falter. They're all depending on you. And so you have to be strong, and you have to put together a strong team, and you just have to know that you gotta make the decision as to whether or not you're committed to the program.
I tell you right now, with the staff that they have here, from the Veterans Court, the staff will not allow you to fail yourself. Short of being dead or just giving up 100%, there's no way to fail. If you just put half the effort, just 1/10 of the effort that the staff of this program puts in, you will succeed.
I had a veteran in the program who graduated today, and I'm so proud of him. He repeatedly would ask for permission to be late to Veterans Court because he had to go to school. And he was in class at the time that we scheduled Veterans Court. So of course we allowed him a little bit of a break in letting him go to class, but today he let me know that he's going to be taking up classes at Texas A&M next year, and he's going to be studying engineering. So when you hear something like that, it's so rewarding to know that you helped to get him back on the right track.
Before Veterans Court even started, I wasn't in Veterans Court. I was in the regular court system. Then she started Veterans Court and switched me up, which gave me an opportunity to do what I need to do to succeed.
We have fought. We've made the first step. You've gone through this program. You've made another step. You're fighting your way to the top. Now, as all of us all know from being in the military, the mission is to take and hold the objective. And your objective now is to firmly plant yourself as great American citizens and not retreating. You heard the words? Not retreating. I don't want to have to sit by forces after you.
You see
When they come back and you see the pain in their eyes and their expression, it teaches you the price of freedom. It does, and it's taking a toll on them. And it's something that if we can give back to them and get them on the right track and get them back to being just another member of society who has a veteran's designation, then I think we've done a good job.
Those who have served our nation in uniform are the best people our society has to offer. This nation owes them our full support and our sincerest thanks. America's veterans did not shrink from battle. They did not yield to fear. They did not abandon their cause.
Those best things there is for me.
All too often, they paid the ultimate price. By their courage under fire and their willingness to serve, they truly defined what a true American patriot is.